What's up, 7th grade? Mr. Agnos here. This video is to help you with homework 7-1K and 7-1G. We're sort of switching gears from working with percents, and now we're going to start looking at equations, how to expand equations, how to ultimately solve equations. Because in 8th grade, you spend a lot of time using equations to actually represent situations in the real world. So this year, we're going to spend a lot of time just learning how equations work. Think of it this way. When you go to soccer practice, you spend a lot of time dribbling around cones and between cones, but when you actually go and play in a game, there's no cones in the field, right? So what you're doing in practice is you're learning a specific set of skills that you're then going to go and apply in an actual game. So in 7th grade, when it comes to equations, we learn a bunch of skills that then in 8th grade we're going to go and apply to actual problems. So it's a long process. All right, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the distributive property. Now, you guys learned about the distributive property in 6th grade, so hopefully this is a review. It says, find a sum equivalent to the product shown. Now, sum means addition and product means multiplication, all right? So what they're saying is, hey, what we're doing here is we're multiplying 2 times x plus y. All right, what this means is 2 times x plus y. And so they want us to turn this into a sum. They want us to be adding two things together. And so to do that, we're going to use the distributive property. Anytime you have a number next to parentheses, you can distribute. And the way I always show my students is that, okay, I can go ahead and multiply the x by 2 and the y by 2 individually and then add them together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, 2 times x is 2x plus, and then I draw another arrow, 2 times y. So do you see how the x and the y each got multiplied by 2? So really the difference between the black equation and the pink equation is that in the black equation we're adding x and y together first and then multiplying the whole thing by 2. In the pink equation we're multiplying x by 2 individually, y by 2 individually, and then adding them together. And the black equation is equal to the pink equation. Why do we want to do this? Well, sometimes it's just more useful to use the equation. Oh boy, that's not what I wanted. When we're solving problems, again, next year in 8th grade, sometimes it's more useful to have it in this form. Other times it's more useful to have it in this form. So you got to know how to use both, right? So I go and I look at my choices. For the first choice here, notice that the y didn't get multiplied by 2. For the second choice here, notice that for some mysterious reason it became subtraction. And here's the correct choice right here. This third one, or this last one, is just all crazy. They multiplied the x and the y together for some reason. So my choice is 2x plus 2y. Got it. Okay, now they're going to throw some curveballs at you. So I'm not going to do 2 and 3. I'm just going to look at them real quick and point out some differences. Excuse me. For number 2, notice now we have subtraction. That doesn't change anything, right? You're still going to use the same distributive property. For number 3, notice it says expand. That's just different vocabulary. Okay, it means the same thing. So they ask for questions 1, 2, and 3. They want you to do the same thing. They're just asking you using different words. All right. So when it says expand 4 times, the way you say this is 4 times the quantity c plus 5. Again, you're just going to go ahead and distribute there. All right. Number 4 is a little bit different. Notice that this time I'm multiplying 4 times the quantity, 3x minus 6. All right, notice this time there's a number in front of my x. No worries. We're going to do exactly what we did before. Okay? Instead of doing 3x minus 6 and then multiplying whatever this is by 4, we're going to multiply 3x by 4. And so to do that, you just multiply the numbers. 4 times 3 is 12, and we're talking x's, right? I have 3 x's. This literally means 3x times 4. So I have 3x plus 3x plus 3x plus 3x. That's what this first arrow is telling us, that I have 3x's 4 times. So there's 3x's, there's 3x's, there's 3x's, and there's 3x's. And if you add up all these x's, you're going to get 12x's. Minus, and then 4 times 6 is 24. So when it says use the distributive property, oh, I didn't draw my arrow, to expand, right? Expand means using the distributive property. We're going to get 12x minus 24. So this black expression and this pink expression, they're mathematically identical. They're just in different forms, because sometimes one is more useful than the other. So I look at my choices here. 12x minus 24 is right there. Got it. All right. Last one I'm going to look at is number 9. Number 9. This video, as I'm switching here, isn't meant to help you with every single problem. It's meant to get you started. You're going to need to ask questions in class. All right. There's no way I can fit in a short video an hour's worth of work and questions and whatnot. So this is meant to get you started. It's the spark that gets the flame going, but then it's up to you to really take advantage of class time and ask lots of questions. And you guys do a great job at that. You're probably my best class at asking questions. All right. Number 9 says expand the expression. So again, when they say expand the expression, right, that word expand means distribute, the distributive property. And notice this time they give us an ugly fraction. Don't let the fraction mess you up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this. We have 1/3 times the quantity 12t minus 9. All right, so we're going to do exactly what we did. We're going to multiply 1/3 times 12 and 1/3 times 9. All right, so let's think about 1/3 times 12, right? What is 1/3 times 12? Well, I'm going to do it over here. 1/3 times 12. Anytime we multiply a fraction by a whole number, we put the whole number over 1, right? 12 over 1, and then multiply straight across. 1 times 12 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3. Then we need to simplify. Remember, a fraction is a division problem, so this literally means 12 divided by 3, which is equal to 4. So when you distribute here, this first time, 1/3 times 12t, you end up with 4 t's, right? Another way to think about it is if you have 12 t's and you only want 1/3 of them, well, 4 t's would be 1/3 of 12 t's, right? I could literally write out 12 t's. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 12 t's, and I tell you, hey, I only want 1/3 of these, right? So you divide it into, you'd split it into 3 sections here. You say, okay, you only want 1/3 of them? There you go. There's 1/3 of the 12 t's, and look how many I have. I have 4. So that's where that 4t is coming from. All right, then we do our minus sign, and 1/3 times 9. So over here, I'll do it again. I'll do 1/3 times 9. Well, 9's a whole number, so let's put it over 1, and then let's multiply straight across. 1 times 9 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. This is a division problem. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So this expression, when we expand it, ends up being 4t minus 3. I'll write it all in one color. 4 t's, right? 4 t's is 1/3 of 12 t's, and 3 is 1/3 of 9. Maybe that's a better way to think about it. So I go up here, and 4t minus, 4t minus, oh, that's why, because I wrote it incorrectly over here. That should be a 3. 4t minus 3, there it is. Okay, so hopefully that's enough to get you started. All right, but you got to take charge of your own learning. You got to make sure you're asking a lot of questions in class. Got to make sure you're doing all the problems, making mistakes, asking questions, and then analyzing your mistakes. That's how we learn. All right, I'll see you guys in class.